So,
Okay,
Adam, welcome back to the What is God podcast. We have Adam King, who was here with us last week, who left us on the mic drop of like, we're in the Garden of Eden and we're about to be tempted with the snake, and we really want to know what's really going on here. And you left us hanging. What is going on?
two-part episode. This is like a Netflix special right here. All right. Last week we covered how the purpose of creation was for that to rectify all of human history that came like Atlantis, Lemuria, all that stuff, by creating a creature that represented God in the world, that represented God as being free will, which is what God truly is, ex nihilo. Remember, we covered that one last week?
Yep. Ex nihilo, something from nothing.
Exactly. So, and then we learned why Adam was created. Adam was created for a much higher function of really being much more intimate with God than just like this child of God. And we learned last week that Adam was vidabek ve'ishto. He leaves his, says, al kenya azov ish, and man will leave et aviv ve'et imo, his father and his mother. Vidabek ve'ishto, ve'hu lebasar echad. And he will davek be'ishto, he will be conjoined to his wife, in devekut, devoted and conjoined to his wife. Ve'hu lebasar echad, and they will become one flesh again. And the whole purpose is to learn devekut, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
To learn how to have devekut to God, because devekut specifically involves love and devotion to God. That's the specialty about devekut, is its love and devotion to God. So God embeds that teaching inside of mankind in their quest, their thirst, and their yearning to become vehu lebasar echad. And he embeds devekut inside of that, right? So they were split up, right? Last week we left off on this.
Last week, Adam and Eve split up.
No, they didn't. And then he's like,
will they get back together? Welcome to episode 2, where we find out.
where we find out what happened. I feel like it's a Batman episode.
Will Adam and Eve get back together?
Yes.
Will the villain keep them apart?
Part 2 is we're learning about the snake, the villain. I know.
So get to the point. What's the snake? What's going on?
So we're going to start the snake off at the curse of the snake.
Okay.
We all know what happens. Snake, Adam and Eve, they're in the garden. It says that the Nachash was the wisest of all of the creatures. More cunning. The word is arum, which also means naked.
Mm-hmm.
He was absolutely naked. Yo, this is gonna get trippy. Okay. So he gets absolutely naked.
Mm-hmm.
And because of this, he understood nakedness more than any other creature.
Uh-huh.
Arum. And he uses this and he goes up to Eve, Chava, but she's not Eve at this time. Her name is Isha at this time.
Woman.
She doesn't have the name Eve yet.
Yeah, she has the name woman.
She only becomes Eve, Chava, after the eating of the tree. Before, her name is Isha. So everybody's like, yo, Isha. She's like, Hineni.
Here I am.
Hey, yo, Isha. Hineni.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So, basically, he's like, you should eat it. You're not going to die. You could see it. Did God tell you? She said, we shouldn't do it. We shouldn't even touch it. And the whole thing goes, and then she eats it. And then he gives it to her. She gives it to him, and he eats it too. God comes running through the garden. He's like, what? He's like, he like hears it. He's like, listen to this. Okay. Listen to this.
I'm listening.
Right. Check 1, check 2. Okay. V'omer mi hagid lecha ki aromata. Oh, because Adam says, here I went one sentence too far. He says, V'omer el kolach shamati began v'ira. I heard you in the garden, and I hid. Ki arom anochi v'habea. I'm naked.
Hmm.
They got down with the snake. Because
Right.
the snake was arum, and the word that they use is arom, the same word. The snake comes up, he's like, I'm the most arom in the house. I'm so
Mhm.
he's like taking off his clothes. He's like, I'm so naked.
So why did the snake do that?
Get this, I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
This is gonna make episode 2 a classic hit for the Schiffer Bloom show.
Great. It's already this one's already, I mean, I hope people listen to episode 1 before they listen to episode 2, because I'm like in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna share episode 1 with all my people.
Great.
I can't wait, because I know that a lot of people on InfoWars really love this kind of stuff.
Great.
Like hearing it for the first time, like, what is Kabbalah? So
Yeah, we're going through a lot in this episode. Okay, so the curse of the snake, just to clarify that part, is that the snake was the most wise, but therefore also the most naked. Is that the curse of?
not to the curse yet.
We haven't gotten to the curse yet. Okay.
It's like prequel to the curse, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Or number 3, Genesis 3 is where the snake is naked. He's like, I'm more naked than everybody down here. And so he somehow tricks Isha to like go do it and eat from the tree.
Right.
But God said to Adam, no, don't eat from the tree before. And then she came back. She's like, oh, just try it. It's good. Just try it. Yeah. So, it's like, just try it. So he's like, what do I do? So Adam was in this consciousness that half of him is her. So he's like, if she ate from it, I have to eat from it too. Survival. What if I go to God and I ask God for permission and he says no? What's that phrase? The additive, better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission?
Yeah.
Right?
So that's what Adam was thinking.
Like he's like, this is a part of my body. Like if I lose it, am I just going to be like this cripple?
Right.
Because he was already felt so crippled that he had to go through this process. I mean, imagine the separation anxiety that Ish and Isha had with each other.
Right.
Imagine separation anxiety. I mean, it must have freaked them out. Imagine if your body that you have right now, that you woke up and your hand was sleeping next to you. It comes over, gives high five to your other hand. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
It's crazy. They must have been freaking out in a state of absolute panic. So she eats from the tree of knowledge. And he's like, I got to do it too. I can't do it. She does it. I have to do it. I do it. She has to do it. He already had this thing where he's like, yo, let me take the lead. Okay.
Okay, so what happens? I'm like so much suspense here, Adam.
So he eats it.
Okay.
And in doing that, he says to God, like, my self-preservation is most important to me. I'm a room. I'm naked. I found out that I was naked in the garden. I got gypped by the snake. By the way, the snake was the previous ruler. Nachash was the previous ruler of the previous world before the world of the Garden of Eden. that we were talking about in last week's episode.
Interesting.
So the Nachash was the carryover from that previous world, doing whatever it could to mess it up in here. So we learn from the curse of the Nachash why he did this.
Okay.
Curse of the Nachash. Arurata mikol behema mikol chayot hasadeh al gahoncha tolech ve'afar tochel kol yemei chayecha. Cursed are you from all the animals and all the creatures and all the things. Al gehoncha tolech, on your belly you will crawl. The afar tochal, and afar you will eat.
Mm.
We envision in our heads that Adam in the Garden of Eden was a snake. But that the snake, that Nachash was a snake.
Right.
Instead of seeing Nachash as a snake, think of the word Nachash as just the name of that creature
Mm-hmm.
that messed with us, that tried to punk us, that made us do things against our own free will. We don't have to go political.
That'll be maybe episode 3.
Episode 3. Yeah. So basically, what does it mean? Al gahoncha tolech? It means on your belly you will crawl. What can that also mean? You will always be hungry.
Mm.
And then right afterwards, strangely, it says what the food of Nachash is.
Uh-oh.
The Afar tochal.
Right. And we just learned what is made out of Afar. Who is made out of Afar?
So the first time the Torah uses the word Afar, what is it doing? It's referring to the creation, the type of earth that man is created from.
Right.
Second time the Torah uses the word Afar,
is when it talks about what the snake's going to eat.
That's spooky.
Adam. Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see where you're going with this.
Cool.
Cool. All right.
All right.
All
So we're
right.
not like top dog. We're not like top of the food chain anymore. Like we got to come to, okay, we're in a paradigm, snake eat us or Nachash eats us. What is Nachash? It's not a snake because clearly snakes aren't eating us. What is Nachash?
What is Nachash?
I don't know. But let's learn a little bit more about his curse.
Okay.
Instead of all the days of your life, we should read this as you will live forever. Part of his curse is that he doesn't die, the Nachash.
Oh, creepy crawlies.
Eat us, but he lives forever. Check this out, right? About the Nachash, okay? This gets trippy. So,
your listeners are going to love this.
I know, right? I should publish this on InfoWars.
You should. You really should.
I'm actually, my Kabbalah class that I do on Monday nights?
Yeah.
So, I'm actually going to start publishing those onto InfoWars.
Really?
Yeah. I want to just blow the lid on the whole community. And we get, for people who are listening to your show who don't understand what InfoWars is, Alex Jones gets 20 million live views every single day.
I still want to come on. Anyway, let's talk about this. We'll talk about it more after.
It's a pretty impressive thing. So all these people, I want to carry, and that's what I want to do in this world. I want to carry this message to the whole world of what the true history of Earth is according to the Torah.
This is what I wanted to talk about with you. So let's keep it condensed if we can for the listeners, because they've already listened now for an hour. This is the second episode. Everyone really wants to know what happens. And then, and we'll have, yeah.
So what do we learn from this that he lives forever? We could extrapolate what he was doing. So what did God do in Garden of Eden? He separated Zacharu Nekeva. Instead of seeing it as Zacharu Nekeva, seeing it as pollinating force and incubating force.
Can you explain Zachar and Nekeva, please? That's Hebrew words.
The Isha. Zachar is male, Nekeva is female.
Okay.
So really Zachar is the part that goes out and Nekeva is the part like the cave, convex cave that goes in.
Okay. But instead of seeing it as like man, woman, male, female, you're saying you say it again?
Incubating force and pollinating force.
Okay.
The male side is the pollinating force. The female side is the incubating force. Okay. So what did Nachash see? Nachash was like, yo, God just split apart the pollinating force and the incubating force of B'Tselem Elohim. So if I hop on this and pollinate the incubating force of B'Tselem Elohim,
oh my gosh,
I will be God.
Just because I know some of your other, because we've talked about your other stuff that you talk about on InfoWars, this piece, which is like, this is like the prerequisite to the Adam King show. I feel like these two episodes that we're doing on the What is God podcast, it should be the prereq that you need to really understand all the other stuff that Adam talks about.
Help you understand what because on our show we do a lot of like child pedophilia and child human sacrifice and stuff like that.
No, you don't do a lot of them. You talk about it.
Balenciaga and Jeffrey Epstein and all those people.
You talk about it.
We're the tip of the spear, everybody. We're the tip of the spear.
Well, you talk about a lot of controversial and cutting edge topics, but what we're talking about right now is like the backstory to all of it.
So who's the real enemy of humanity? The Nachashim. The Nachash.
Whatever that means.
Whatever they are. Let's not see them as snakes.
So I have a question for you, Adam, and we may have to do an episode 3 because I'm gonna need to like have a break here soon. But this is just a question. Do the Nachashim, whatever they are, we used to call them snakes. Now we realize that we're going to call them Nachashim. We've gone over the curse. We've gone over the part of their curse is that they live forever and that they eat Afar. And we've gone over that human beings are made of Afar. So that's not looking great for us. Now, who are the Nachashim in today's world? That's gonna be topic episode 3, and how it affects us today. And then like Mashiach will be part 3, I think. So we went from like before Adam and Eve was episode 1. This episode 2 is like actually what happened in the garden, and episode 3 can be like who are the Nachashim in our world today, and when is Mashiach coming? But I just want to ask you truly, because I'm trying to piece together all these narratives. We have not talked yet on this podcast about the fallen angels.
That's the Nephilim.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the Nephilim yet on this podcast. Are the Nachashim and the Nephilim in any kind of relationship to one another?
This is really funny because I told you in the last segment we just did that Greg Reese is coming on my show on Monday. He's a huge journalist, and this was our conversation. Exactly.
Really?
Asked me the exact same question in our because we do a pre-show where we talk about topics, and in our pre-show, that topic came on, and the answer is no.
Okay.
These are two separate forces that are opposed to humanity.
Great. So we can talk, maybe next time we can talk about the Nephilim or something. We'll have more. This is all really very interesting for me.
Something I really feel like my version of Judaism is the correct version of Judaism. And I don't want to sound chutzpahdik or egotistical or something like that, but I feel like there's so much stigmatism in Judaism, like negative stigma all the time about what is a part of our culture and what isn't a part of our culture. And in the last segment, we talked about mermaids and stuff like that. And like in our culture, like this is what our culture is really about, is what I'm saying.
I'm really glad we're having this episode, and I do want to, maybe we'll do a part 3 and 4 even, because I often reference some of our past conversations and I just I haven't had quite enough of a grasp on it enough to be able to explain it to people, because I think that in what we're talking about in these episodes there's so much curiosity, there's so much mystery, and there's so much to like think about, truly, like, there's something there. That's what I think when we have these conversations is there's something really curious about this. It makes me want to look deeper. It makes me want to consider it. And I want to talk about it to other people. I want to have conversations about it and explore it with not just you. I want to talk about it with other people. And I just haven't been familiar enough with this way of approaching these narratives to be able to really have those conversations. So I'm really glad that we're recording it, and I'm going to go through and listen to it on 2x speed, probably a few times, and make a list of questions so that we can do another one.
Okay. So I'll wrap this one up about the snakes, and we'll have the snakes completely wrapped up, the Nachash completely wrapped up in this episode.
Okay.
And give us a really good framework to do future episodes and move forward on these concepts. So to carry this message and this tradition is what it is the Jewish mission in life. Like, this is what we're here. This is why we're what Or Lagoyim means, to be a light to the nation. This is what it means that we were chosen. We were chosen to have this codex of free will, and this is the story of free will. So in order to truly have free will, you have to truly understand this story.
Yeah.
And like a precursor to free will. So what Nachash saw was that if he got rid of the pollinating force from the man, he saw it as like a husk of a fruit. Like, think of a pistachio.
Yeah.
He saw the male part of B'Tselem Elohim as like the husk. You just take it off of the fruit and throw it away.
You lost me a little bit. So the Nachash, in having Isha and Ish in Adam, woman and man, eat the fruit, he was trying to eliminate the pollinator?
He was trying to eliminate the pollinator and take
Because
the incubator for himself.
and
So
take the what? And take the woman for himself.
so
Oh my goodness. Okay.
how spooky this is. He saw us. Everything in creation, when Adam was created, bowed to Adam because it was B'Tselem Elohim. They thought it was God.
Right.
And so the Nachash also did. So he's like, well, if you're separated, I'll just take your pollinating force and kill you.
And
And so,
I'll be the pollinating force.
yeah, and then I'll be God. And I'm the master of creation now.
But somehow the Nachash thought that in making Adam eat this fruit, that it would.
He never was, I don't know if he was trying to get Adam to eat the fruit.
Oh,
He never even went to Adam.
yeah. So why did the Nachash have Isha eat the fruit?
He was just trying to take her.
Oh, he's trying to just like seduce her.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Him. And she brought the fruit back to him.
Uh-huh.
She's like, I ate it, but I need you to eat it too.
Because she was Devekut to Adam, and the Nachash couldn't.
She couldn't break it. The Nachash didn't realize that it was
Devekut.
one being.
That it was one being.
It was Basar Echad.
Wow, this makes me want to have a whole nother conversation about soulmates.
So listen to this, okay? So why is he cursed now that he has to eat Afar and live hungry? Because originally he saw Afar as the husk. He saw man as the husk. It like became his food. Like he saw the way he saw man, the way that Nachash saw Ish and Isha stems from Al Gahoncha Tolech ve'Ofar Tochal. He saw like the woman as the incubating force and the man like the fruit. He saw the woman as the fruit and the man as the shell.
Mm-hmm.
But it's an affront to God, actually, because it's like saying, I will be the male force of God.
Right.
And so then he's cursed Kol Yemei Chayecha. God's like, okay, you can live forever. You want to be God and live forever? Gesundheit, hey, you live forever. And so then it goes into the description of history until now. V'yaveh eshet beincha uvein ha'isha uvein zerecha. And I will put discord, hatred, enmity in between your children and the women's children. So we just learned something. Nachash had kids. Nachash had kids. Secret reptilian empire hidden from us.
What?
They are the ones who are controlling us right now. They're the ones implementing the vaccines. They're the ones implementing everything that could take away free will from mankind. Because that's all they wanted to do.
Right, which that's a whole other conversation we haven't even gotten into yet, but you can definitely learn more about that on Adam's show.
We're getting to the point of the modern age through these verses. And then it goes further. It says, Uvein zara hu yishafucha rosh, and her children will smash your head. Ve'ata tishufenu ekev, and you will bite their heels. But it says ve'ata, it says you. Not your children. It says you will bite their heels. Her children.
Us.
So the Nachash that lives forever is the one who's biting the heels of Isha's children.
Us.
Us.
And we're smashing his children's head.
Yeah. We're destroying his children. And he is attacking her children. He himself, the Ata, and you, Tishufenu Ekev.
All right. Well, there's more mystery to uncover here, Adam, clearly.
So to sum it up, the expulsion from the Garden of Eden leads us to where we are now in human history, which chronologically depicts all the events that have ever happened inside of human history from then till now. There is this eternal battle that has happened in 5783 between Nachash and his children, the reptilians, and humanity, the children of
woman,
Isha, who becomes Chava and Eve. That's it.
Wow. And then that brings us to where we're at today.
This is to where we are today.
And we're in the middle of that battle. And I look forward to talking more. So just thank you for that little summary. And then to like look forward to more topics of conversation we could talk about. We could talk about, okay, well then where's that going? What does Messiah have to do with it? What do we expect between now and Messiah coming? And there's also the other battle that's going on between the Nephilim, but that's another topic for another day. So
this about the Nephilim, just so that we can have something on them, you know, like a little teaser for the
like a little teaser. Yeah, give a teaser.
Is that the Nephilim's issue is actually with God.
Right.
Man is like a byproduct of their issue with God and the creator. And then there's only two of the Nephilim.
Right.
The Nephilim are two angels that fell and had children with humans.
Right.
And those children became the Nephilim. They called the Nephilim Enukai, and the tribes of the Enukai. And they have like mythological powers and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they became, anyways. So that's just a teaser. We'll get more into it. Thank you. I think
this
that's
is fun having me. I love these topics, and I could go on forever about them.
We have 2 great episodes. We'll do more. And for now, I will conclude. Everyone, that was Adam King. Thank you, Adam. You can find more about Adam on InfoWars on the Adam King Show. This is the What is God podcast. I am Shifra Bloom, and you can find What is God podcast where podcasts are found. You can check me out, Shifra Bloom, on Instagram or on my website, shifrabloom.com. Thank you, Adam, so much, and bye for now.